Ciao. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Twisted Life TV. I am Poetry. You are here for PNTV. It's Poetry's News and Twisted Views. Oh, my goodness. I actually don't have anything specific that I was going to talk about. I did. I had notes, but then I felt like I needed to do further research on those notes before I spoke. So, this is going to be a wing it. I'm about to wing it. Okay. We already know that we are in the height of the political campaign. We only have just mere days left to get out there and for the election day. Now, if you are unaware, many states have already begun early voting. Some states don't start until like 7 days before the election. So I implore you to go to your state election board and look up in your area if you can early vote, and then also research the locations at which you can early vote. They may not necessarily be your actual election polling place. I saw on Instagram one lady was complaining that she went to go early vote. Can I go out this way today? And she went to go early vote. She left the house at 9 o'clock. She was sent to 5 different districts, and she didn't actually vote until 3:45. Okay. My polling place is around the corner from my house if I were to go on election day. But in order for me to vote early, the closest polling place to go do so is over by my mama's house. Actually, it's a little bit past my mama's house because it's not even my mama's election polling place. So you want to make sure that you know what election polling places that you can go to. It doesn't matter in most states what district you're in. They have open polling places, and you can go to any of those polling places if you are early voting. Most states do not require an ID, but take it anyway. Or if you have your voter card, you can take that. Y'all just saw my tooth almost fall out my mouth. I'm not editing nothing, y'all. I'm not editing nothing. You can take your voter card, your passport. These type of things you can take with you. I did post on the board that they are mailing out early sample ballots. They are mailing out voter guides. These things you can actually take into the booth with you. In places that have a lot of amendments that are on the ballot, a lot of propositions that are on the ballot, having this guide or the sample ballot with you makes it easier for you to remember what these topics were about. You can take your sample ballot or your voter guide into the booth with you to vote. What you cannot take is your cell phone and open up your cell phone in there and be scrolling on it. But you can take a piece of paper with your information on it in order to vote. I stated that I implore you to go to your election board to find out about your early voting and things like that, because I was going to post a link that I had to a website, vote.org, that gave information about early voting. And I found that for a lot of the states, the information was incorrect. I'm going to pick Hawaii specifically because I remember that off the top of my head. On vote.org, it states that Hawaii does not allow, that Hawaii only does mail-in voting. And that's all it says. This is not true. Hawaii does allow you to do in-person voting, and they also allow you to vote early. I believe Hawaii is one of the states that had like a close date to the election date in which you could begin. But that was just one of the examples. I want to say it had Nevada on there, saying that you could only do mail-in ballots or things like that. There's a couple of them on there, and I was starting to make a list of exceptions at first when I realized the errors, because I will go to the actual Board of Elections website to verify the dates and things like that. Because I did notice that on one of the ones, I want to say Tabitha posted probably about a month ago, they had dates for Florida that were incorrect. And I was like, no, early voting started in Florida October 21st, but on the form it said something like October 27th. So it was like reducing it by 6 days. And these are from credible websites. Okay, but I'm going to say this in their defense. I don't know if it was intentional, so I'm going to say humans are putting these dates in. You know, when we type in, we can stick one number in, don't fact check it. If it doesn't give us the red squiggly line, when we type it, we don't think it's wrong. So it's possible that somebody just put in a date erroneously or it's possible that they could be trying to throw your ass off. Somebody working within the organization, just because it's an organization that you know normally supports your causes and things of that nature, does not necessarily mean that the people within that organization are doing what they're supposed to do in good honor. I think that's the word I want to use. Is this what was wrong with this thing yesterday? They put them new lights and look, you can barely see these lights. Where the sun hit it. So go to your voter election board for the county that you live in, not just the state, the county that you live in order to find out when you can early vote and where you can early vote. And one of the reasons why early voting matters so much, it helps reduce the amount of voter suppression. It helps reduce it. And it helps identify to candidates, federal all the way down to local, what areas they may need to have more of a presence in. Because if they're showing that we got, like say I live in Orange County in Florida, we got 75% of people early voting in Orange County, and we only got 2% voting in Osceola County, which is not the case, but I'm just saying. It helps the candidates know that Osceola County may need to be focused on more, because the people are lacking interest. Doesn't mean that they won't vote. It's just that sometimes early voters are ones who are more involved with the election process. They seem to be more involved. So, yeah, go to your county's election board site and find out the exact dates and locations of when and where you can vote. Early vote as best as possible. On day one, lines were long. Lines were long because people are trying to show their force. People are trying to make a statement. So, because when the numbers come out that, it was over 200,000 people who voted on day one, that's making a statement about what you believe is going to happen. I tried to early vote on day one. I got tired. Oh, wait a minute, not day one. No, I didn't. I tried to early vote on day two, and I got tired. I was tired already. I've been having a very stressful work phase this past couple weeks or so. And am I missing 2 days? I'm missing 2 days. Yeah, I'm having a very stressful time, which I ain't been getting off to like 8:30, o'clock, and getting home around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I'm tired as hell. So I was gonna go vote Wednesday, and I could not get myself out of bed. I didn't even want to hear my freaking phone ring. But I'm going. I'm gonna go early. They cut off our early voting here in Florida because there are cutoff dates as well on November 3rd. Election day is November 5th. November 5th, I have a medical procedure that I need to be preparing for, so I can't go stand in line at the voting booth, and I don't know how long my procedure is going to be, so I can't take the chance of saying once I get out that procedure that I'll be able to go stand in line and vote. And the procedures pertaining to my heart. Just an exam, just trying to. I don't know I call it a dye test. I got to drink that shit, and then they got to radiate my body or whatever they got to do to see what damage is being done to my heart, if any, or esophagus or whatever, the insides. Okay, so early voting. Now, like, one of the things I found fascinating that I saw online. What did I do? Let me see if I can clean this screen a little bit because it looks nasty. Oh, that look better. That look better. Why was I so cloudy? Okay, so one of the things I found fascinating is a lot of older people my age or older, who have never voted before and are now getting out to vote. There was this one specific woman that kind of went viral in the state of Georgia. I can't remember her name because I said I didn't write anything down. But you can Google it and look it up and you'll find it. 82 years old. Had never voted a day in her life. And the reason why she said that she had not voted was because her husband told her that he did not want her to. It blows my mind that in 2024, we still have people living in those states of marriage, states of family, with that mindset, that are still telling people you can't vote because I told you to, and then that person actually listened to them. In 2024, well, Miss Georgia, I'm gonna call her Miss Georgia because of the state she in now because of her name. Miss Georgia, Miss 82-year-old, first-time voter, went out and voted this particular time. Why? Not because she, I shouldn't say in protest against her husband, because in a way she kind of was, but her husband died last year, child. So she felt that since he was no longer there to control her voice and control her vote, that she was going to go make a statement, and she registered to vote. And if I'm not mistaken, she voted for Kamala Harris. But and at first, you would think that she may be an anomaly. There's not that many people like that. I am learning after, because I'll be all over YouTube and all over the pundits channels and the podcast channels and everything, listen to politics and people's opinions, and I'll be down in them comment sections, baby. And in the comment sections, I've seen so many people that were like, I'm age 72, this is my first time voting. I'm age 88, I've been a lifelong Republican, I haven't voted since 2002 election, or I haven't voted since the 80s, and I'm now back on the rolls as a re-registered voter, and I'm voting for Kamala Harris. And there's some people that's not saying who they vote for, but they are saying, this is my first time voting, and they're 50 plus years old. Like, what? So I know I talk pretty bad about independent voters. Not independent voters, undecided voters. And I'm starting to think that somewhere along the lines that some of these people have fit the bill of an undecided voter. Motherfucker! What the hell is wrong with you? You see this fucking car right here? You dumb bitch! And then she got a baby on her goddamn lap. Every time I drive, I gotta prove. I said the next time I had a situation, I was gonna turn my camera around so y'all could see it. She went 3 lanes over too. She was trying to turn right from that fucking lane, but turn into my fucking car like I wasn't here. I was talking about undecided voters. Now let me tell you, I just had that little explosiveness from me. I still can't stand a bunch of motherfuckers. I don't give a damn what political affiliation they are. Some motherfuckers just get on your goddamn nerves. You gotta call them a bitch every once in a while. Anywho, undecided voters. I'm starting to feel like a lot of these people that are undecided voters are fitting the bill of the ones who are being told how to vote, when to vote, or if they know, or if they can or cannot vote. And however, a lot of times that the undecided voters that we're seeing on TV are truly Trump supporters. For the most part, majority of them have been turned out to be actual Trump supporters. And I don't know if they just don't want to say it on TV, who they're supporting, or whatever, but that's what they turn out to be. I saw one interview with a lady the other day who was saying that she was doing like a little group, I forgot what they call those things, a little group session with the undecided voters, and her whole issue was that they're name calling. Really, you're an undecided voter because somebody's calling each other names. Now let's not talk about the fact that dumb Donald, stupid orange ass, has been calling motherfuckers names since, politically, since 2016 at least. It goes back further than that because I remember he had a run before, but it's been 2016 at least. And now all of a sudden it's an issue that somebody's calling each other names. This is what got you undecided. And honestly, I don't think the Democrats have called him names. I think they have stated what he is, his character. Donald Trump calls people dumb, shit stains, losers. And the Democrats call him a fascist, a wannabe dictator, a wannabe strongman. Those are proven facts of his character. I mean, anywho. So, yeah. But yeah, I find it so fascinating that there are people still out there that's like that have been told they cannot vote. And I think when we look at the 53% of white women who voted for Donald Trump in the 2016 election, I believe that a lot of those women fall into that category. Like, they don't want to vote a certain way because their husband will find out. And they keep telling people that if you go into the booth, your husband will never know. But I told y'all before, you can research to find out how somebody voted and if they voted. You know that just from when the attempts on Trump's life happened, that they were able to tell quickly who those two people had supported previously and when was the last time they registered and when they voted. It's easy to find out. So I understand that fear, but don't let that hold you back, though. Because if your spouse is going home looking up how you voted after you vote just to chastise you on it, then you need to leave that fucking spouse, child. You are in an abusive relationship. There may have been other signs that you've been in an abusive relationship, but that's damn sure one. That they really dictating who you voted for in the booth. They gonna check up on that shit after you get out the booth. You know, that's a sign. Yeah, that's a sign that you should be in the fucking booth voting. These are the people who I believe, and this might be generalizing, the people who, like, I got married and my last name was Clark, and instead of me calling myself, Poetry Clark, I would call myself Mrs. Leroy Clark. That was my husband's name at the time. I would identify myself by my husband's name. You know, like in Handmaid's Tale, how the women was Mrs. John Waterford. She wasn't Serena Joy. She was Mrs. John Waterford. What's his name, John? I don't even remember. And then his handmaids were of Waterford. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Of John, of Ken, or whatever it was. I think that those are those type of women who are still living in this society today. I don't know what the excuse is for the men anymore. Other than they hate women. we already know that a lot of them hate black women. And we talk about black men too. They hate black women. Yeah. So that was one thing I just found fascinating. I was gonna talk briefly about. I made a post the other day about my take on Dumb Donald, and now seeing the news a lot, it's been getting repeated a lot. How he's totally losing his faculties, how he's just, I believe he's crazy, but not in the mental health sense. I believe that he's just an extreme narcissist. He needs his ego stroked. He likes to be told he's a good boy. But I don't think that he's going senile. I don't think he's losing control of his faculties. I do think that every statement that he made, that he's done so with the intention of helping setting up his insanity plea. If everybody in the world is saying how insane he is, he's demented, he don't know what he's doing, that he's losing his marbles, when it comes time for court, they can use that information to say that every action he's done and or taken, he was out of his fucking mind, and try to get either a lesser deal or better plea or what have you, or get put into an insane asylum instead of an insanity ward instead of a general population ward, wherever the fuck they was gonna put him at. I believe that is what he's doing. Now, I think that there's a lot of things that he says that he 100% believes. He believes that his opponents should be taken out. He believes that news media should be silenced. He believes that podcasters and YouTubers should be silenced. He believes he's racist. He's bigot. He's misogynist. He's all that. I believe all of that. But when he's saying shit like, they're eating the cats and dogs, he don't believe that shit. He just thinks that it was a good way to cause. I told y'all he likes drama. I told y'all when he was running for election that he does not, the first time, that he does not care about the negative press as long as he's in the press. He does not care how he goes down in history as long as his name is in the history books. However, I do believe, I'm starting to take a second stance on whether or not J.D. Vance is actually MAGA. I think that Trump is the MAGA politician, and a lot of his MAGA cronies have gone a bit more extreme, and they are the Heritage Foundation. And I do believe that J.D. Vance is officially what I call Heritage Foundation. They are equal to the sons of Jacob in The Handmaid's Tale. So I believe, because like Trump didn't select J.D. Vance as his running mate. His son is the one who encouraged the campaign to put J.D. Vance on as the candidate. I do believe that they are either one, somebody's going to see him as senile and have to have him sit down, which means that J.D. Vance would take over presidency if Trump was elected. This is an event of a Trump election. If Trump is elected and J.D. Vance gets the VP, he can say, oh, he out of his mind. He really is crazy. He really is demented. And remove him from office or have him in, the same thing they was trying to do to Joe Biden, and have, ask Kamala, God dog, I can't pronounce her name wrong. Ask Kamala, why you trying to cover up the fact that he's losing his marbles or he's senile? That's what would happen if he's elected, and then J.D. Vance would become the president. Okay? I do believe that the Heritage Foundation, along with J.D. Vance, because I talk a lot about how the attempts on his life are staged, set up. I believe they are set up by his own campaign, his own, And I ain't going to say his own people, but his own campaign. And I believe his campaign exists of MAGA and the Heritage Foundation. You have the MAGA and the extremists. This is my personal opinion. Okay. So they are using the attempts to, one, bolster his base and enrage his base. And at the same time, if in the event that they don't miss, they actually do it right, the Republican parties, their delegates then come back and name a nominee, which in this case will be J.D. Vance. That's why when they did the vice presidential debate, they praised J.D. Vance so much. Oh, he was so good. He was so well spoken. He was very articulate. You see how he didn't demean Tim Walz, and they seemed like they got along and they agreed a lot. He's not that bad of a person. That's what they try to make us seem. And then he gets in these interviews and shows his ass and shows his true colors. And that was one of the things I said in the post too. Donald Trump is doing a lot of interviews outside of the U.S. media. And in those interviews, watch his demeanor. It's so different from the U.S. Interviews. He's more poised. He seems to be in more command of his faculties. More articulate in the sense of being able to answer questions pertaining to what the question was about. His appeal, his nature seems more calm, all of that, compared to when he does interviews with the U.S. media. He comes in a tad bit combative. If not combative, he comes in with a joking mindset, as if he's not taking shit serious. Why are they going that damn fast? The light is red. So yeah, watch all the interviews. Don't just watch what he says to us here in the United States. Watch what he's saying outside of the United States in other media. You know, everybody's really focusing on the generals, Milley and Kelly, saying what they're saying about how he shouldn't be president, and they should never. He's the most despicable person that they've ever worked with. They've said this before. People have not been listening, especially after January 6th. Both of these people have made these statements. This is not something new, but now that the days closer to the election, they're using that as a vehicle to get people more fired up in the name of patriotism. But there's no matter what they put out there in the media, no matter what Donald Trump says, his followers are going to ride with him until the wheels fall off. They're all in. They are truly acting like members of a cult. There's so many interviews out there or rallies out there that Donald Trump has said these specific heinous things, and then you would talk to somebody who's in support of him, and they will say he didn't mean to say that. This is what he meant to say. Or it's this one black girl, and she may not even be black because this is Instagram, but she's always on Ply's channel, and I told you about his channel before. She's always on his channel and in the comment section, always saying what she thought he meant to say, or retwisting the words that he said. He says, let's see, I'm trying to find something that's extreme, but not something that YouTube's gonna block. When he says that he's gonna deport not only undocumented immigrants, but all immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, whether they're there legally or not. When he says that, she believes, she would say, he don't mean everybody. That ain't what it really meant. He only meant, you know, she would retwist the words. It's the way I'm trying to frame it is not going to sound right, because in a way he is not meaning every immigrant. He is not meaning the white immigrants at all. Only the black ones, only the Hispanic ones. He's probably not going to even touch the Indian ones, because a lot of them support him. You know, so I don't. Okay, let me just keep going. Other things that this person has said, and I'm just using her as an example, is that he playing. That it was a really bad joke. That things like that he says is a really bad joke. He ain't mean it. So no matter what is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to get to the point of no matter what he says, he does. Those who are deeply sunk in, who have gone to the sunken place, who need a camera flashed in front of their eyes, they need to know. Those people are going to make up whatever justification they can to stand in support of him. Like we talked about how they didn't want to support Kamala because she's a hoe. How they, at least that's their words. Despite the fact that Trump cheated on his wife and been out here with porn stars and been hanging with the Diddy parties, and I believe, if I'm mistaken, there were allegations with minors that they settled out of court, and then we seen him at the Epstein parties and stuff like that. The comments he makes about his own daughter, they overlook all of that and put that, you know, at less of a give it less meaning than they would that Kamala may have slept with her boss while they were dating. You know what I'm saying? Anywho, I'm at work. I don't know what this PNTV is about. All the other stunts and shit that he doing with the McDonald's stuff like that, we're gonna talk about that later. I'm gonna try to set up a live and just go live and just have a conversation about the shit in the politics. But I just been tired. That's all it is. I'm late for work. Got a new boss at work, and things are a little different around these here parts. So yeah, let me get off here and get to work, child. I'll see y'all in another video. Peace.